Welcome back into Fox Carolina Tailgate. Corey Atkins, Patrick Sapp. Shifting our focus to South Carolina now. A rough day in Columbia, Missouri. Like right from the get-go. As you're watching that one unfold, first of all, how far did you make it into the game? Because I have to admit I started channel surfing a little bit because it was tough to watch.
It was. I watched the whole thing.
You're a champ. Look at that. A good alum.
Hey,
We
alum,
love that.
man, you know.
The thing that bothered me about that game is how flat we came out. And, we had just lost a heartbreaker the week before to Florida, and to come out and be flat like that. And, these teams, Missouri's a great team. They are. They're good. They have a good
better
quarterback.
than people expected this season.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes. And, I think on down the line, they're gonna give Georgia a good run for their money when they play them. But, a team like that that's hot, you got to come out there and meet that same energy. And if you don't, you're going to get embarrassed.
This was almost felt like to me like Florida was beating them twice, right? That old stereotype of if you were saying that you can't let a team beat you twice, and that's kind of how it felt coming into this one.
That first half was rough. Now the defense showed some fight in the second half, but again, playing against those type of teams, you got to take advantage when you can, and if you don't, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, and I would add to that is, I don't have much room to talk right now. Our Tigers.
Yeah, that's what's making this fun.
I am grateful that they lost Saturday night.
But what I would say, watching South Carolina play is kind of a schizophrenic team, right? Because they'll have moments where they will look like, okay, this team can compete with anybody. And then it's moments where you don't know what the scheme is defensively. You don't understand what they run on offense. And then I think you hit it on the head, Corey, was really the energy level. You go in a hostile environment, it's a team that's believing now. Because I don't think Missouri really knew how good they would be this year, right? But I think each week you've seen that team progress and get better and better. And so you're coming out against a team that's, hey, little payback, little revenge. They want to play. They feel like they've arrived, that they are moving forward. And you don't match that on the road, you are going to get embarrassed.
Where does the lack of energy come from?
Well, for me, I think, I don't know.
Is that preparation? Is that
I don't
belief?
know if it's preparation. It might be more belief, and just, again, let the Florida game beat you twice. Because I think they were very well prepared. I'm not going to take it, put anything off on the coaches. I just think really it comes down to matching their energy and not being able to, take anything from them.
Yeah, and I would say, I've been around it, the same as Corey, and I would say this. Sometimes when you lose a game in the way that they lost to Florida, and I know everybody that's a Gamecock expected them to play better, right, and compete better in that game. And so coaches are on you, fans are on you all week. You're reading, well, whatever we want to say, we read the press and we watch the press, right? And so, and you're going into that, and coaches are saying the same things. You're trying to figure it out, but you always going to have that underlying self-doubt. And I think that's what's happening to South Carolina right now is the belief in, can we go down here and really beat this Missouri team?
Well, now they have to go on the road at Texas A&M, a spot they haven't won at,
right.
And
coming
off of a heartbreaker against Florida, and then a incredible wall-to-wall disappointing performance against Missouri.
They played better than the second half, Beck. Come on now. Okay, they played better than the second half.
That might have been the third string at Missouri that second half. So y'all first string is better than that second and third string. So we'll say that.
So Texas A&M, like the Aggies aren't chump change.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest concern for the SEC always is like there's no, and certainly the ACC this year, we've talked about that plenty, but there's no let up from here, and the journey doesn't get any easier for this South Carolina team that's limping into the second half of the season.
Right. I'm hoping, one thing I'm going to look at is seeing how they come out. If they come out and they start fast, like they did last year when they played against Tennessee, they started fast and the momentum just took over. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to need to happen tomorrow. They're going to have to really get out there and have something good happen to them. Have some good luck, because Texas A&M front four is very, very good, and Spencer better be ready.
And Spencer has been. Spencer's looked good,
Yeah.
and he has been that leader. Has he shifted at all? I mean, you think about a quarterback controlling the room, keeping his team on his side, you know. If anybody's done it.
Yeah,
it's
so it's
Spencer.
Corey, my good friend Corey tells me all the time, he's keeping receipts.
Yes.
So, all right, so I'll cash in a little receipt here into saying that, all right, Spencer's better than I thought he was.
Yeah.
I
we
said
go.
it, Corey, you heard me,
Yes.
man. He's better than I thought. And he's playing good football right now.
Mm-hmm.
But with this team and with the offensive line and the running game has been good, you know, sometimes, right? It's tough for him. It's tough for him. You're going against Texas A&M, a coach whose back is against the wall. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah, you're
you
right.
know, Jimbo Fisher, he is.
Right.
It's a little tough on him right now. So he looks at this team like this is a win for us. So he's coaching hard this week.
Are things tough on Shane Beamer right now? Is there concern? Is there South Carolina is notoriously quick to turn on their coaches. He's got players, in-state guys leaving the team, refusing to travel. Is Shane Beamer in trouble? Is there concern for Beamer at this point? Because I think it's crazy, insane early.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. You know, the first 2 seasons kind of spoiled us because we wasn't expecting what we had those first 2 seasons. So this season, you know, kind of brought is bringing us back down to the earth. So
Yeah.
this is step away from the edge. we got some dogs coming next year.
And so, yeah, I would say if you think this guy should leave, then you're really not a true understanding of football and program building and all of that. With that said, though, I think one caveat we have to remember, yeah, they played great football last year, but those were not his players, right? And so he has to show
There's
us.
been so much hype about his ability on the recruiting trail.
Well, no,
that he's
and I
getting
think
these
Corey
guys.
alluded to that as, yeah, he's signed some great guys, but you got to let those players come in and see how they develop. But I think you will hear South Carolina fans saying it needs to be some staff changes. I think that's what will happen first. And I think
I agree with
Beamer
that.
gets another year or 2 years to, you know, to figure this out. But
If we can give him the same type of grace that Clemson gave Dabo when Carolina was beating them those 5 straight years,
Right.
then I believe we can build up that program as Dabo did.
All right, well, we've got plenty more to talk about.
That was a little. I don't know if you felt that. I don't know if you felt
I'm
that.
with you. I'm a Beamer fan, man. I think he's a good coach.
Yeah, he's a great guy, too. When we come back after the break, we have a little bit more to talk about, and we're going to get into our pick 'em. All that is next.